Hey guys, Crispy here. A bit of a different one this time. I'm going to be going over a list that I'm going to be taking to a tournament this month. I've done, I don't even know how many lists I've done now. I think it's about 15 to 20 different lists. Um, I was thinking of taking, it's a 1500 point tournament. I was thinking of taking a Stomper with a couple mechs to support it and 3 Dreadnoughts or Death Dreads. But in the end, I felt like if I got a bad matchup and you had enough shooting to kill the Stomper, well then I had absolutely no way of ever beating you. Obviously as well, things like the Relic and stuff like that, I only had a couple mechs that could pick it up, so my only real strategy in that mission was to just move my Stomper onto the Relic so that no one could pick it up. And obviously that only works while he lives. So in the end, even with a custom force field mech sitting inside him to give him the 5+ invulnerable, I decided not to go with that list, and then I started looking at my other options. I started off with I think it was 5 Death Dreads. I've cut them back to now 2, and I was trying to put in cans. I thought about running a knob heavy list, so like 7 Mega Armor knobs and a battle wagon. With Guzgull or Mega Armored War Boss. Like I went over a whole bunch of options. Some of them I scrapped because the models needed a bunch of touch-ups and painting and stuff, and I just don't have time because this tournament's on the I think it's in roughly just under 2 weeks now. I think it's like the 17th or something. And just with real life stuff as well as painting, I just wouldn't probably get it done to the standard that I want it to be done to. So in the end I went with this list. So as you can see, it's 8 drops. It's 1 spearhead detachment. It was a 2 spearhead at one point, but I had to drop a few of the heavy support options. I've gone with Goths as my clan, just so that Zagstruck has some synergy with the Storm Boys. And I picked Tenacious Survivor, which is a 6+ feel no pain save, roughly. It's just an extra 6+ save, effectively, on your Warlord, which is quite good with Zagstruck, and I'll go into more details as we go over the list. So, obviously, let's start with the Warlord. So this is my Zagstruck model. He is a work in progress, so don't judge too harshly. I haven't done any of the medals on him or anything. I'm just sort of blocking in the colours at the moment. The skin is roughly done. I think it needs a little bit more washes and things, and some more highlights on it. You can't really see too much in this photo, but this is actually all darkened up in here and stuff. It looks a lot better if I took a decent photo, but I just wanted to have a photo so that you guys had something to look at, and I had a reference. But anyway, onto the strategies. So Zagstruck, as far as an orc goes, I think he's pretty decent. So he's 88 points, and he comes with all his war gear. That's everything included. He's got a regular old chopper, which is not that good, but he has a base strength of 6. So it's only one strength under a big chopper, and obviously you're only doing 1 damage, but still that's not too bad. He then also gets 2 attacks with his Vulture Claws, which are basically they're like effectively power claws. So then you're strength 12 with the Vulture Claws. And then he also has a Cyborg Body, so that's a 5+ effective feel no pain. He has a 4+ regular old save, and then with my Tenacious Survivor Warlord trait, he'll have a 6+ on top of that. And then obviously this guy is going to be sitting near a custom force field, so he's going to have a 5++ invulnerable to some shooting. So the idea is that he's pretty hard to kill. He'll have a bunch of Storm Boys protecting him, and I think that as far as a cheap HQ choice goes, I think he's pretty good. He's moving, I think it's either 12, I think it's 12 inches. You can go flat out and take a possible mortal wound if you do the flat out move, which means that you can advance and charge. So, suddenly this guy is moving really fast, 12 plus your D6, so let's say 3 to 4. So you're looking at, 15, 16 inches there. 2d6 charge, here we go, reroll. Suddenly this guy can be right in your face along with all his friends. And I think that him and his squad will come in handy with things like the Relic. I can pop over the top of my my walkers, grab the relic, slowly move back behind the walkers, and then you've got to eat through my entire army, which some armies might be able to do, but others won't. So that can be really handy. So anyway, and then the other thing that he does, which is really cool, is that Storm Boys, as long as they've got the Goth clan keyword, they are immune to morale while they're within 6 inches of this guy, which means that you've got to kill every single Storm Boy I own before before they're gone. So anyway, so that's Zagstruck, and that's why I picked him as my warlord. Just pretty survivable, super quick, and decently punchy. Then my next choice for HQ is a mech. This is obviously the Buzzgob Forge World model. I didn't have points for Buzzgob, but I did actually have him in the list for quite a while, but I had to cut the 20 points to fit in basically the Storm Boys. As far as it's just a standard mech. He'll be running with a chopper and slugger. So nothing too exciting there. The only thing I want him to be doing is hopefully he'll get a couple repairs off throughout the battle and make some of my walkers a little bit more survivable. And while I got the photo of them, obviously I'm including 2 Death Dreads in this list. Both of them are armed exactly the same with a Scorcher and 3 Death Dread claws. Originally I did have a Death Dread with the double rockets. I wanted to give that build a go because it's quite cheap. But unfortunately he had to be cut again to include more Storm Boys, and I think that it was the right choice overall, just to give me a little bit of that edge when it comes to objectives and things. These fellows, they will just be basically being annoying, really. I'm going to run them up in people's faces as soon as I get within striking distance. So first turn, the idea is I probably castle, taking advantage of that 5+ invulnerable save from the custom force field, and then second turn I'm likely to be amongst you, cutting you up a bit. So if all goes well, obviously I win, but we shall see. I think that Death Dreads are cool. Don't have to worry about morale with them. Obviously heavy flamers are pretty decent now, and the 3 Dread Claws give me 5 attacks at strength, I think it's strength 12 if I remember correctly, so it's pretty good. It might be strength 10, but either way, super good, wounding most infantry anyway on 2s, dealing d6 damage. These guys can take care of tanks if I need to. So yeah, and then obviously the good old mech. He's just super cheap, 55 points for someone who can heal these guys for d3 wounds. Next thing I'll talk about is my tank busters. I apologize, these guys are nowhere near painted. At one point I had 20 of these guys or so, and then I traded off 15 of them, I think it was, for some high elf stuff, because I was playing a lot of Age of Sigmar up until recently. So I had to convert up some more of these dudes. I mean, I wasn't even really that upset because these were the fine cast. I'll be fixing all this up. I mean, you can see mold lines and stuff, and as far as fine cast models go, they were just horrendous. But anyway, I digress. These guys, 10 of them, they'll be sitting obviously in the Squigoth. They get the rerolls against vehicles. They are super handy. I ended up trading switching these guys. Originally I had 3 units of rocket cans, but I think that these guys overall are better just because I've got 10 shots, and most of the time I'm going to be directing the rockets at vehicles anyway, so the rerolls make them a little bit better than the cans, I feel. And then I just don't know if cans are really that good unless you're really fielding a lot of them, and you sort of built your strategy around them, and I didn't really want to do that because I wanted to have my mechas and things. So anyway, 10 tank busters, I think they're a decent choice. 170 points, got the knob in there, he's got nothing special. So that's that squad. And then my next choice, fast attack choice, I went with 15 Storm Boys. These are all work in progress. You can see I spray them with this like brown undercoat spray from Army Painter, and then I paint on all my greens and whatever else. The point of these guys are going to sit behind the can wall, advance up with Zagstruck in amongst them, so that if someone tries to drop in behind me, they're going to have to eat through quite a few Storm Boys before they can get a hold of my Warlord. And I think these guys will be super handy because they've got the fly keyword, so obviously you can assault some of those supersonic flyers. You can jump over your own units, capture things like objectives and whatever else. I've used these guys before in a couple matches, and they have been just, well, pretty brutal. If you don't whittle this unit down, it does a decent amount of damage. And with Zagstruck just making them immune to morale, they become even more better. You can't see it here, but this is my knob in the back here. He's armed with a kill saw. I like the kill saw just because it's just straight up 2 damage. I don't have to worry about the D3 and rolling a 1 every now and again with a power claw. And yeah, I've just stuck him in there just so that I can threaten some of those high toughness units if I need to, but these guys really are for grabbing objectives, screening my warlord, and being quick, and just another target really. So there's my Storm Boys, and that's my strategy with them. And then the next one I want to talk about, this is my custom force field mecha. So you can give the Mecha Dreads a custom force field now. I've used the points cost from the Orc list, which is 20, because the Forge World book actually doesn't mention a points cost. So I don't know if you have to pay for it, because there is no mention of points there, but I paid 20 points anyway, just to be on the safe side. As far as a vehicle goes, this thing is super good. 18 wounds. They've got like a dodgy feel no pain save. Obviously with the custom force field, he's going to have a 5++ against shooting. He's got a 3+ regular old save. He's got 5 or 6 attacks, I can't quite remember, with Ripper Claws. So those are, I think, their strength 16 or something. So he's wounding some of your real, like Lehman Russes and stuff like that. He's wounding them on 2s. He's toughness 8. Yeah, he's just I think he's a really solid choice. He comes in at 278 points with the custom force field, which obviously is fairly pricey, but I think that is worth it because he is decent. He's also got the big and stompy rule, so you can just step out of combat and charge back in. So, that's really handy as well if you want to get the first turn, attack first sort of thing in your turn. That's cool there. Obviously he doesn't have any shooting, so I can't shoot, but if you had guns you could actually back out, shoot him, charge him. But it'll be good because then it might force some people to spend their command points, 2 command points to try and interrupt, if it happens that this guy is smashing on something that's important to them. You can see on the base here, this was actually a fish of mine. He was a really cool fish. So I lacquered it in PVA glue and turned it into a weird skull, maybe something from this Death World. But anyway, so that's my Mecha Dread with custom force field, and the plans is with the 9 inches on the custom force field as well. This guy can protect the entire army quite easily, and now I don't have to worry so much about blast templates, obviously, because because there are none. You're obviously doing like D6 sort of damage or D3 damage with blast hits now, and that doesn't really bother me all that much, because I've got the custom force field and I've got my feel no pain thingy, and then I've got a mech there as well to try and repair this guy if it all goes south. So that's that guy. And then my second mecha is this one here. This one's got the supercharger, which allows you to I think it's advance 2d6 and pick the highest. I can't quite remember now off the top of my head. And I think it also allows you to charge. So obviously I'm just trying, yeah, I think that's what it does. I remember it being pretty good. Anyway, the whole point of this guy is that he's just going to blitz you effectively. As soon as I'm going to move up, take 1 turn of shooting from you, possibly 2. And then I'm going to be in your backfield most likely with my supercharger or mega charger, unless I roll that 1, in which case I'll take a mortal wound and effectively be immobilized for a turn, but that's what command points are for. So yeah, this guy is completely expendable. I don't have the rocket bomb rack upgrade because that's 13 points, which is a shame because it is a lobber, but I want to be advancing anyway, so I don't know, probably wouldn't have been much use either way. But yeah, this guy is completely sacrificial. He will go for some of my opponent's sort of bunkers and things like that. Try and disrupt him basically and hold him off, keep him away from my main line, which is the custom force field mecha and the Squigoths and stuff. And speaking of Squigoth, and then finally that leads me to my final choice, which is the good old Squigoth, which I'll be uploading a video about at the same time as this video. I just really love the Squigoth, and I mean the model is great, and I think that this guy is going to be super good with 10 tank busters sitting in the top there. I didn't purchase a heavy weapon for him because I didn't have the points for the heavy weapon, and I don't think he really needs it anyway, and I want him to be running up. The rockets are assault weapons, so I can run and advance and then just obviously be hitting on 6s if I want to do that. I don't think I will do that because I want the Squigoth to be sitting out of combat anyway. While the Squigoth is a good fighter, I think that I want to be sort of maximizing the tank buster shots. So I won't be looking to really get in the mix with this guy until turn 3-4 hopefully. Obviously there'll be some armies that want to get a hold of me and try and beat my metal face in. But if they're doing that, then that's fine. The Squigoth can fight if it needs to. It's doing D6 damage, -3 to your save. It's got 5 attacks when it's taken. When it's in its first tier, it's got to take 9 wounds to drop it down to the next tier. It's got 18 wounds overall. It is just super tough, and then it's going to have 10 tank busters sitting on top there, popping off damage 3 rockets. I am super looking forward to that. So guys, that concludes this video. I will do another video after the tournament. I'll probably also do some more videos on like the Forge World stuff, give you guys some more updates on that. And someone also asked about a grot video. So I'll also do a grot video as well with my thoughts on them. So anyway guys, thanks for listening. If you like the video, obviously like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.